Hi, Barry here, and happy GDPR Day. Yes, it's the 25th of May, and I woke up this morning in the EU, looked out the window, half expecting all the internet to have disappeared. But no, the sun rose, the birds are tweeting, and all is good in the world. And a lot of people are getting a lot of mileage out of GDPR, and there's been a few people being very vocal about it. I've kept stum. I haven't mentioned anything about it because really I didn't see the point. And the reason I'm doing this video now is because two reasons. Firstly, people have asked me what my take is. Quite a few people, and rather than repeating myself, I thought I'd make a blog post. And secondly, I'm making this video because I can't be asked to type it all out. Okay, so, and this morning, there's been a lot of news, obviously, about GDPR, and a lot of people interviewed on the radio, on Radio 4, the BBC. We even had the head honcho for the UK, Elizabeth Denham, in the studio, and I'm going to touch on what she said in a moment or two, but a lot of people are running around like the sky's going to fall in, and some people have been making some ridiculous comments and statements, and they're not really understanding what it's all about for a start, and they're reacting to it in completely the wrong way. And I'm surprised. I am genuinely shocked at some of the people I've seen taking that particular stance. Gurus, bona fide gurus, going around saying that they've done with the EU, and it basically because it impinges on a certain business model that they have, and they can't think of a way around that, or they can't think of another business model. It's like they're blinkered, and they're basically saying, well, I'm going to say to people, if they are not going to get on my list and give me permission to send marketing emails to them, they can't buy my product. Which is kind of, I think, just as, probably even more illegal than actually letting them buy the product and sending them the occasional marketing email. So you can't, that's a discriminatory thing, which, and they say, well, I set my rules in my business. Well, fine, but you set your rule in your business to import cocaine, right? You're still going to go to prison. So the point is that scenario is a little bit worse than the actual other scenario of basically ignoring GDPR. Anyway, I just wanted to give one or two insights into what it might do, what impact it would have, and the people that should be worried and the people that shouldn't be worried. Now, we're mostly small businesses, and we shouldn't really be that concerned about what's happening. Most of us have been going about our business in a perfectly correct and above board and transparent way, and that's a good thing because you don't need to change much if that's the case. But let me first of all tell you what Elizabeth Denham said this morning, and that maybe put it into some kind of context. She was asked about, the interviewer said, there's loads of small business out there getting really, really panicked because it's the 25th already and they haven't got a clue what they're supposed to be doing. They've spent money, they're panicking. What can you say to them? And she said, look, today is not a deadline. It's not a deadline. All we're looking for in businesses is a commitment to move forward with our obligations. We're not looking for perfection. And it's nonsense to think that the regulator, that's the ICO, is going to be making early examples of small businesses by levying huge fines. Of course. Then she said, well, is there a grace period? Does that mean there's a grace period? And she said, well, no, there isn't a grace period because the law has actually been on the statute book for 2 years now, and it's only today that it's become enforceable. So it's been the law for a couple of years. She said the focus of that enforcement, however, will be on businesses that deliberately, persistently, or negligently misuse data. And if you're doing this business right already, then that probably isn't you. Okay? it probably isn't you. And I'll talk about why in a minute. And she went on to say, we don't have thousands of inspectors going out there and checking people's homework. But what we do have are millions of data subjects, millions of people, users, who have new rights, who can take a complaint against a company to our office. Okay, so yeah, you can be complained about. I'm going to talk about that too in a second. She says, but we are a harms-based regulator. So we are going to be looking at issues that create harm where companies are misusing data. Let me tell you what I don't give a rat's ass about. A couple of weeks ago, I ordered a couple of self-inflating camping mats. And since then, I've gone on to, when I check the weather, for example, the adverts down the side of the site. And a lot of those are for camping mats and camping equipment. I'm being followed around the web by a cookie, right? Is that harming me? Is it doing me any disservice? Is it affecting me at all? There's going to be ads on that page, whatever they show. At least they're showing something I'm interested in. Should I get upset about that use of my data? For fuck's sake, it's pixels on a screen. What possible harm is there in that? There is no harm whatsoever. And why should I care about that? I shouldn't. I shouldn't care. It's nonsense. Here's what I would care about. The courier company that's delivering these mats have my telephone number, so they can call me up and get directions, and so we can get the delivery. I would care if they gave that number of mine to a direct marketing company and I started getting marketing calls on my private number because they sold that data. I would give a rat's ass. So you see, data protection isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's something that should be in place. But it does affect how we do business. It will affect how we do business. But it will put things back into perspective, because some things have got a little bit out of perspective over the last few years. Okay. She said, small businesses shouldn't panic. There'll be lots of help. And if we had a complaint or if there was a data breach, then we would first look at whether they were on their compliance journey. That's the company. If they're on their compliance journey and they were aware of what they needed to do and that they had safeguards in place to protect leakage of personal information, and there are some very simple things that companies should do to take care of this important aspect. Okay, I'm with her on that. Okay, so who's doing this business the right way? Well, if you've been sending out marketing emails to people who bought a product of yours, okay, technically, that is one of the areas where this guru was getting all upset about. Saying nobody's going to buy my product unless they get on my marketing email list. Okay. Well, if you're doing that, and we've all been doing that over the course of how many years, and I don't get any complaints. Do you get any complaints? Very rare, because at the bottom of each email there's an unsubscribe link. Now, the people that are going to have a problem with this are people that are spammers, people that don't put an unsubscribe link in their email, people that bought some shitty plugin or something because they didn't want to go and get an account with a professional company like Aweber or ActiveCampaign or GetResponse. They decided that they would buy this shitty plugin of JV Shitty Zoo, and that was how they were going to email people. And then you don't need a subscribe link in it, do you? No. Those are the people that are going to suffer. Also, interestingly, those are the people that are going to have to put the safeguards in place as the protectors of the data. You see, when I build my email list is stored and administered and safeguarded by Aweber and GetResponse. Okay, they have got the big security headache, not me. Okay, they are the people that are administering that data, not me. I'm only controlling what happens to the data. Okay, so if I'll send emails, messages to that email address, they're the ones that's storing it. They're the ones with the big headache, not me. So if you run your business that way, then you're going to have those headaches as well, which is a good thing, isn't it? Don't we want to get rid? How many people, you've probably experienced this, where you've unsubscribed from somebody you thought you did, only to be put back on their list, back on their list, back on their list. It's about time that sort of shit stopped. Yeah, and this will help it stop. How else is it going to impact? How else is it going to impact our businesses? Well, some of the business models over the last few years have gone a bit strange, haven't they? I mean, back in the day, it was mostly double opt-in. People double opted in to get on your list. And these days, it's kind of, if you come across a list and it's double opt-in these days, you think, they forgot to turn it off. We dispensed with collecting the name because we couldn't be bothered, or we didn't want to do the first name thing. And even though people said it was a good idea, then they said it wasn't a good idea. So we stopped collecting names. Or one less thing that they've got to put in the form will make it more frictionless. Not having to confirm makes it frictionless. It makes it easy to get on my list. But is that panned out good? Is that a good thing when you think about it? Because in the IM niche, it's the lowest open rates of any niche out there. I've got lists in different niches, and my IM open rate is the lowest. And it's the lowest because it is the easiest to get on my list. You see, you get people that chuck their email in, get your freebie, and never open anything again. And they just sat there. They're just sat there in your GetResponse account or your Aweber account, costing you money. It's ridiculous. You really, if you had a few hurdles to get onto your list, so people have to tick a box or double opt in, then you're going to get people that actually want to be there on your list. You jump through a hoop. I was looking at Ben Settle's page the other day. If you know him, I'll put a link actually somewhere. And Ben has, on his main page, he's got an email sign-up form. And this is before GDPR. Before any of this, there you have to tick the tick box saying that you're going to get emails every day. When you sign up, you get this double opt-in, and you get your email where you have to confirm. And he warns you. He says, "Look, I'll be emailing you every day. Don't get on this list if you can't handle that. I will be emailing you a lot." So he's telling people. He's trying to repel people that he doesn't want on his list. Okay, and that's not such a bad thing. The other thing it might eat into a little bit, and this is what this guru is going on about, was this thing where if you got a Tripwire product and it's like $7 or something like that, and you're getting your traffic from affiliates and you're giving them 100%. And his problem was that I'm giving 100% on a $7 product, and if I can't email that person with offers, then it's not worth my while. Absolutely, it's not worth your while. That's true. But don't you think that this 100% commission thing has got a little silly over recent years? I mean, go back 10 years, 50% was considered generous. Now, I'll give you 100% all the way through the funnel. It's just become a lead generation exercise, and it's a bad lead generation exercise in some ways. Okay, it gets PayPal accounts into trouble because they don't like seeing 100% commissioned things going out generally, or they didn't used to. It's something that's got a little bit daft. So pulling things back in a little bit isn't such a bad idea. And that guru, there's other ways to get people into your funnel. You don't have to use that particular method. And there are ways around it as well. People are going to have to think back to the methods that worked a few years ago and still work today, which actually look less shiny and nice, but are actually more solid. For example, I mentioned the double opt-in thing. Back in the day, you asked people to subscribe to your newsletter. These days, you give people a PDF or a video series. The lead magnet has taken front and center stage over and above giving people ongoing value. So I think that what you need to do, and what I'll be doing, is repositioning stuff. You can get on my newsletter, get daily email marketing tips or product creation tips and promotions about new products that will help you in your business. And if you do subscribe, then I'll send you a free gift for subscribing. Not get this free gift and then I'm going to just blast you my email newsletter. Because they didn't ask for the email newsletter, they asked for the free gift. Okay, so I'm going to start selling cereal rather than little plastic things. Okay, buy the cereal and get the little plastic thing inside. Remember when you were kids, it was always the shittiest cereal that you hated, like shredded wheat, that had the best toys? There's a reason for that. They spent more money on their toys because they knew that the kids didn't want to eat their cereal. But what we're doing now is we're selling the little plastic toy and people are getting cereal thrown at them. And they don't want that. Okay, so sell the cereal and then give the toy as the free gift. So I think that it will help in ways like that. Now there's something else that she mentioned. I think if you're going to need to tweak your privacy policy, make it understandable for people. I've done that. I've got a form somewhere that on one of my pages, my legal pages, where if people want all these things that they can request of you, like right to be forgotten, all you have to do is set up a special email address or a contact form that people can fill in and request the data, and the chances are that nobody's going to actually fill it in. Nobody's going to actually fill it in and find out. We get you to go through everything to find out what data you've got on them, or it's not going to happen. But you need to have the facility there just in case somebody wants to contact you, that you can then go off or get your VA to go off and look through the accounts and erase them. Tweak your privacy policy, make it understandable, be transparent with the data that you're collecting and why you're collecting it, and how you collect it, why you collect it, what you do with it. Make it so people can understand that. Make it so they can contact you to request a data audit or to be forgotten, which is one of their rights. That's not going to impact your business at all. And yet it's showing what she said, the commitment to move forward with your obligations. If you're using GetResponse, Aweber, they're all compliant, and all the emails that go out have got an unsubscribe link in there. You haven't got a problem with people saying that you're spamming them. So, don't build it out of proportion. And the other thing, I see a lot of people trying to get rich off of this by offering you a plugin to do this, a plugin to do that. I don't know whether I haven't really looked at them, to be honest, because I haven't any need for them. But certainly there's a lot of specialists going around charging people money to help them get GDPR compliant. And none of them are certified. There's no certification for this. And she was asked whether people should go out and spend money on these specialists. And I know that there's a big famous one out there that's got a $200 checklist or something that you can download, which she's making a lot of money from. And this is what the controller said. She said, there is all the basic information available through our office and on our website. A specialist may be necessary if there are complex problems or a complex environment, but most small businesses can rely on the materials that are available. So don't waste your money on $200 here, $200 there on checklists and plugins that will make you compliant in a click, because you don't really need it all. Just do a little bit of research, tweak what you need to tweak, move forward, and as you go forward, see, gradual wastage will happen anyway, because you're going to be building your lists going forward with in a compliant fashion. And so what's going to happen is that you're going to move forward and you're going to get more compliant as you move forward. So that's it. I've spent much longer than I thought I was going to do on this video, but there you go. It saved me doing a lot of typing. So I'll say thanks for watching. Any comments, questions or anything like that, do put them down below. And if you want to share this on Facebook, please share it around. See you later.